Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Uncommon Faith. It's your girl, LaFlower Bowie, and I am so excited to be here with another episode, season two. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, I know that I have some amazing co-hosts that we're gonna be rocking it out with tonight. So let's go ahead and bring them on. Welcome, Regina and DeAndra. How y'all living? How y'all doing?
Doing good. How
Hey,
are
hey,
you
Doing
hey.
all?
good. Now I'm gonna make a disclaimer, y'all. If these buttons fly open on this shirt, it's not like one of those it's not like a
Don't
who
see
was that at the
anything.
Super Bowl? You just may see a little cleavage. That's it. That's it. So just giving y'all fair warning. I love my shirt, but sometimes the girls. Anywho, how y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. Y'all all right?
Happy Tuesday.
Deandra,
Hey,
She's
I
ladies.
giving
just
us
do hair.
fire.
I gotta see this hair. You gonna have to scoot over.
Come on.
Yeah, you
Fire,
hide behind the
Deandra.
uncommon face. There
Fire.
you go. I see you. I see you. Yeah, go on, scoot on over so we can see you. And she got her pearls on
Yes. Come
tonight,
on,
y'all.
sis.
And she
You
got a.
know, you
You
know,
don't see
because
the
that girl
pearls.
birthday is in a few days. I'm just feeling, just feeling all birthday-ish and everything.
I
Yeah.
see. I
That's what's
see.
up.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, you look amazing. We was gonna do it at the end of the show, but since you done already brought it up, shout out to Princess
It was
Deandra.
like it'll be day.
Do it
Hey,
like it's your B day.
Turn
hey.
up.
That's gonna be the soundtrack she's been playing for 2 weeks, y'all, by Miss Jocelyn Hernandez. But yeah, we're super excited. It's always great to have another trip around the sun to reflect
So
on
grateful.
things that we've learned and how
Mm.
we've grown. It's just a beautiful thing. And then next week we're gonna be doing this celebration all over
All
again.
over again. And
Guys,
then we have a bonus sister that is the same day as our big sister, Regina. So, y'all, we have a lot of birthday and celebrations coming up in the
yeah.
Uncommon Faith family, y'all.
Right, right. Fun fact,
Indeed.
y'all. I have three Aquarius sisters. Ooh, a Scorpio,
Yes,
three Aquarius.
yes.
Oh my God, my God. I don't know how I make it. But but we're gonna jump right into this segment, y'all. Our first segment of I Know God is Real. Um, I think Didi talking to one of the kids or just so we're gonna go ahead and jump into our first segment of the show. Um, which is I Know God is Real because Gina, I'm gonna let you speak on this one because y'all know I get emotional so quick and I've already almost cried 3 times today. So Regina, tell us about our I Know God is Real.
Well, without me, you telling me what you're talking about, I can only assume. Today is a day that I think all of us, we know that all of our thoughts are in the same place, um, and along the same lines, right? Today, January 25th, 21 years ago, yeah, we lost our father. Um, actually, literally around this time. So I spent a lot of the time on this particular day watching the clock and just remembering, what was happening at what point and different things like that. But um, God is real because we're still here. We're still standing and um, we are living the purpose-filled life that our father and mother raised us to live and embodying the principles and the legacy that he left. So, I think our lives could have took a number of different paths with him being taken at the time that he was, especially given how old you all were, still, young teenagers, um, and things like that. And I've come across so many people who have a similar story, but theirs didn't go the way ours did. And so in that, I'm just grateful because there was a sound foundation. There's a sound foundation in place, and not just put there by our parents, our mother, our father, but our grandparents and so many other people that poured into our lives, and so many people that was there to wrap their arms around us and keep us and remind us that God is faithful regardless, even when things happen that we don't understand, and um just makes no sense to us and seems unfair. God is faithful. And, as much as it hurts, and I'm not going to lie, 21 years, that means nothing to me because at moments it still feels like yesterday. It
Right.
still feels like it was today, 21 years ago. At any moment, I could find myself in that place all over again. But God has kept us. He has kept us. He kept our mother, you know, they were getting ready to celebrate what 25 years of marriage and all of that good stuff, and here she is with three kids at home and one out, but and trying to still maintain, but she did. So that's why I just have to say God is real, because we are who we are, despite, in spite of. All I can
Right.
say is but God.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gina. Thank you. Thank you. And to anyone who's, you know, anyone who's had a parent transition, or, a parent figure transition, um, especially when you're still young, especially when you're still growing, or in your early 20s, when you're still searching and trying to grow into who you are, it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. And like Regina said, the pain really never goes away. You just really learn how to cope with it, how to live with it, how to channel that pain into purpose and drive. And one of the key things that's kept me going all these years is really fighting for our father's legacy, you know, not giving up. Because it's easy to give up. It's easy to throw the towel in. It's so easy, but like Regina said, the legacy or the foundation that was built, it's it's a strong foundation.
I would say, like I just found myself prepping for myself maybe like a week ahead or like 5 days ahead, and I
Right.
get in a space because we also lost our first cousin too on this day. And so I get into this headspace, and I'm always just so careful on today, and I'm so aware, and I'm just so just know that I'm on autopilot still after this long,
Right.
and I have a coworker who lost her mother, and recently I've been having someone who kind of understands losing that parent, and just being able to kind of just talk and share memories, and
Right.
I've just been able to God cope in a different way this go around, and I find myself just bringing up stories and just talking about how cool he was, and just spontaneous, and all these cool things, an entrepreneur, a go-getter. I think about the businesses he opened, and it just makes me want to, like LaFlower said, just keep it going and keep it alive, because when someone, we know now as adults, when someone puts so much effort into something, when something is successful and off the ground and running, we know how much work. And I'm sure then it was much harder for a black man, to just get that ball running and get
especially in
spaces
Waller
and,
County.
and
Right?
open up a
Especially in
building.
Waller County.
You know what I mean? So it's still to this day, 21 years later, I can't talk to him, but he still inspires me on those levels what he did. And like that's kind of fuels a lot of my acting fire. Is
Right.
just that legacy, just building something that's timeless and something, that's gonna definitely just be here, or you can learn and still grow from.
Right.
So I love you guys on today, and every day this year, it doesn't get easier. I just feel like we just learn different ways to cope with it. And this
Absolutely.
year, I can say I had more laughter this time around, and just remembering him and just how goofy he was and how he had the whole house laughing and just all over the place.
He
It's
definitely
amazing.
had the ability to come in and change the atmosphere.
Yes.
I'll say that. But one of the things, like we said, it's been 21 years since, and it's different when a parent is taken from you so quickly. When it's but I understand now why God had to do it the way he did it. Because I know for me, in my mindset, I wouldn't have been able to cope with seeing our father's decline. Like I wouldn't have been able to see him go through, medical issues and things like that. And it's funny how DeAndra said it's been anxiety every day leading up to today. It's like
Oh yeah.
it's been
Ooh.
total like just it's today. No, it ain't the day. It's today. And the other day while Marcus and I were riding, it may have been when we were leaving Regina's house, I saw his truck. Someone was driving his exact truck. I
Uh,
haven't seen that truck since I was a teenager.
oh my goodness.
And I just took that as a God wink that, because literally all of these years, I've never seen a pickup truck like that. And it just made my heart smile. It really made my heart smile. But I do have to ask you guys a question because, I've had to be in so much prayer and I've had to repent to a certain degree. It's not funny at all, but when you know when I see that other people have had their parents or their father, you know, so like until their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, and then their father transitions, part of me is like, you should feel so lucky and blessed, you know, because part of me is like, like, do y'all get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like your grandchildren, I mean, your children were able to meet your dad, like all of your children. Your dad was at your graduations. Your dad was at this. Your dad walked you down the aisle to get married.
Yeah. It's human
And
nature.
yeah, and sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, you should feel so blessed and honored that God left your parent here for that long
Mm-hmm.
with you. I'm like, because mine was ripped away from me when I was 17,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Have you guys ever felt like that? Is that just me? Because I constantly have to ask God to check my heart because I'm like, but God is like, that's
Absolutely.
not your story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think like Deandra just said, I think it's just human. It's the flesh, for us to when you recognize another side of the situation, you know that the situation that it could always be worse, right? Um, and not taking anything away from those that are going through and have their parents until they are well up in age, and both you and your parent, they're elderly, both of you, you
Yeah.
know, scooting around. I mean, I'm like, that is such a blessing. It
Yeah.
is such a blessing. But when that parent goes, we're not taking anything away from that loss because obviously we know that the pain that that brings, and I can't imagine even having them for that long. Um,
Wow, Lisa.
oh my God, bless her heart. Right? And that goes to the point I just said, like there's always another story. There's always somebody else who can say, I can one up you, you
Right,
know, like like what
right,
just Lisa just put on there. So was blessed to have him for the amount of time that we did, would have loved to have had him longer, but
right.
it's all in God's timing, and he works it for our good. Like I said,
He
he was
absolutely
gone, but
does.
he had others here in place to be there, right? To
Mhm.
we had uncles, we had male figures that were able to kind of step in and be there when, and not only that, you guys had a whole brother-in-law who was like he was a big brother, during that
He
time,
is.
right? So it's
Right,
like God knows. So I just still can't help but give him the glory because I recognize that it could always be worse than what it was, you
right.
know. Like we have friends from home, who recently lost their father, and I was like looking at the age that he made it to. I'm just like, such a
My God,
blessing,
my God,
such a
exactly,
blessing. To God be the to God be the glory. But I know your pain is not any less.
exactly, that's it. But speaking of pain, so I was, on social media, the other day, and I forgot someone made, it was I was on someone's ministry page, and there was a viewer that commented that said, "This year or last year, I started reconnecting back with God because when I lost my parent over 10 years ago, I fell out of relationship with God." Now, we see that happen so much in our community, especially when it comes to illnesses, sicknesses,
Yes.
just tragedies, even, with what we went through. So, how can we help people understand? For one, with I mean, my belief is with our faith. If you believe what the word says, then you know that person is, absent in the body and present with the Lord. It's like that person is good, and they probably is better with, you know, with they in better condition than they were here on earth. But what do we say to those who completely fall out of relationship with God once a loved one transitions?
I think that goes back to a few of the things I said in that, you know, I think as you mature, you understand that it's not all about you. There's a
Mm,
there's a bigger picture. There's something greater at work, and God's plan is going to go forth. His will is going to take place, whether we choose to be a part of it or not. And even though we can't see, we don't even see like a minute piece even of what God's plan is and what he's doing, unless we're one of those people who are fortunate enough to that he reveals his secrets to. But I think just knowing and understanding that everything works for our good and there is purpose in everything that God does. And we
mm,
have to trust that. So, LaFlower, just like you said, if we believe in him and believe in his word and what he says, right? Even in not everyone that we lose are going to be in the body,
Mhm.
and that's another thing that we have to deal with. So, like you mentioned that scripture, yeah, that absolutely was a comfort for us, but that's not always going to be a comfort.
All right.
But then
oh,
you just don't know because we don't have a heaven that's anybody in it.
that's true.
We really
That's
don't.
so
That's
true.
between them and him. We don't know how that worked out or transpired, but it makes us feel better to hope and just go with the you in a better place,
Right.
right? And and
Right.
and just trust that. So it's difficult. I've talked to you. Unfortunately, I've had employees, lost. family in fire. And oh my God, she
Mm.
struggled. She struggled so much because there just couldn't be any understanding as to how could you possibly, if you love me, God, like you say you do, how could you possibly do something like this to hurt me so badly,
Mm.
Right.
so badly? Um, But it honestly, you have to work through that thing. And again, it goes back to the word because he says if you raise them up the way that they go, even if they depart, they will not depart. They're gonna come back. They're gonna realize that he has my purpose. He has all of it has purpose, and it's okay because his grace is sufficient. Even though we go through things that hurt us and take us through, he keeps us and maintains us and gets us to the other side.
Right.
But it's
He
hard to see
does.
that when you're in the thick of it sometimes.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard.
Definitely. I would say just to add to Gina's point, he's there to comfort you too. So I would say that
Yes.
usually, you know, the human part gets angry and we usually want to go and do the most and use it as an excuse that we're hurt
Right.
and that he don't love us and that he kind of left us hanging in the midst of whatever purpose or expiration date that person might have had, even though they're near and dear to us, we just still have to not depart but definitely stay really really close because at the end of the day, like when we're alone, when we're breaking down, when we're crying, usually when nobody else is around because we try to stay strong for those around us. And in those moments, like he's the only one that can comfort you and get you to sleep or get you in a state of mind to where you can keep function keep functioning or at least be on autopilot or just keep going.
I mean, but you said something so major, DeAndra. It's like that comfort. It's like when they say when we think of God, really God having a bosom, like we know what it feels like to be our
Own it
mama's
just
chest, or even those hugs from our dad. It's like that's a safe place. That's a place of comfort, and it's like I know that. And each of us over the past 21 years, I know that God has had us right there in those moments to comfort us. Even like DeAndre said, when we're crying, when we're moaning, when we don't have words, or when we're just overcome with emotions, I know that God has gotten me through. I know it was nothing but him, to get us through. Even when on this same day, when Lee passed, when Lee was killed, it's like, and then when you replay how it was done, you know, that just pulls you even more, and God just holds you tighter. He just holds you tighter. He holds you tighter. But before we wrap up this segment, I was having a conversation with Tamir the other day, and Tamir's the deep one. He wants to know all the whys. He wants to, you know, he's why I'm on this origin search to figure out exactly where we from in the motherland, because that boy has driven me. But one of the things I told him about his grandfather, I told him, I'm like, you want to live on purpose, and you have to answer the call of God that is on your life. Do not forsake the calling. Do not forsake the calling. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, if God is speaking to you, answer. If you know that God has chosen a path for you, even though it's not a popular path, even though a lot of people are not going to understand it, answer the call. Because, like Regina said earlier, God's will be done with or without you. Answer the call. And I don't know why. God had me going that way with him because, I've told you guys on Common Faith, I told you I've stepped away from my son when it came to spirituality because right now he's in that, I don't know. I don't know. You've been telling me this, but I don't know. But that's how he is. And you and during that conversation with him this week, Holy Spirit just led me to tell him that. And he was like, "Wow, mom." He's like, "Cuz God's been speaking to me." And he put one of his friends on his heart and he didn't answer the call. And now that friend has a charge against him. He has domestic violence of charge against him. He's in jail right now. And he's like, "Mom, I knew God showed it to me before it happened, but I didn't. I didn't answer the call." Guys, Uncommon Faith, we have to answer the call. And I even told him, for me, I was like, this year, God is like, "Flower, you gonna do what I told you to do. You gonna preach and you gonna prophesy. That's it. Like all that other stuff, that's fine and dandy. But you gonna do what I called you to do." And that's it. Because I told Tamir, if you don't answer that call, God may be like, why am I leaving you here? Like, what is your purpose here if you're not gonna do my will?
That's it.
So that you can jeopardize, because Regina already said everybody is not gonna be in the number. So if God loves you that much, would he go ahead and call you back home so that you won't spend more time toiling and getting yourself into more mess for your soul to be compromised?
Absolutely will.
And my son actually he thanked me for having that conversation with him, because normally he's like, but he actually stood there and he processed it, and he was like, he started telling me about the dreams God's been giving him, more people that God is placing on his heart, because Tamir is such he's an interceder. Some of y'all in the world call it an empath, but Tamir is definitely prophetic, and he's an intercessor, and he he's like, "I got to do what God told me to do." And that, of course, as a mom, I'm like, "Thank you, Jesus, thank you." But I held my composure. But guys, our Common Faith family, it is so vital, especially with what God showed us back in 2022 when he showed me, 2020, when he showed me that vision of the summer of 2022, the plates being settled. So when the plates are settled and you're not in position for what God has called you to do, you may miss out, or he may put you in timeout and say, "Come on, I'm not, it's just so serious right now for us to answer the call." Whatever the call is on your life, answer the call. However God is speaking to you, answer the call. Because my son was like, "Mom, I just ignored it. I pushed it to the back, pushed it to the back." God is only gonna speak and come for you for so long, right? And like we said at the retreat, that God is he's a restorative God. He will restore. But guess what? That period between the first attempt and the second attempt, it may be a decade. It may be 15 years before he reaches back out to you to give you another opportunity to answer the call. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Sorry, y'all, but it's just so serious right now for us to do what we've been put here to do.
I love it. It just it reminds me of just tapping in, and like reminding ourselves to stay focused and to always tap in, and to always get back to that source that makes us strong, and I think, people have, I don't know if they forgot or it's just what they choose not to do because, it's fast right now, microwave, just everything is like super fast, but it's like it has so many techniques and prayers and ways and stories to get through whatever you're going through. It's like a story in there that's happening in your life. But guess what? It plays out, and you can see how each way you choose to do something, how it could potentially play out. Not saying you can tell or know, but it's like when you get smart enough to learn from your mistakes, you kind of can say, hey, well, this person did this and it's real similar, so let me reevaluate. So I love that flower. It just keeps reminding me, and then like the word self-love too just comes, and within that it's like it's just loving yourself enough to fill yourself up
Mm,
spiritually. We got all these other buckets that we have to fill, and we're gonna talk about filling up our financial bucket in a minute. But that spiritual
Okay.
bucket is still so important, and it's something that is year round, 24/7, 365.
don't stop. Perfect way to go on break, y'all.
Yeah.
It's
Thank
hot.
you, DeAndra. All right, guys, we will be right back, and we're going to jump into our main topic for the night, which is money matters, or really money myths. We're going to debunk some myths tonight. We'll be right back, guys.
Life is better when you are living on purpose, but many times we get stuck in the rat race and in the mundane task of our day-to-day lives, causing most to lose sight of their purpose. That's why certified life coach, inner healer, and business strategist LaFlower Bowie is here to help you get calibrated to your calling through proven systems, techniques, and resources. Order a copy of her book, Principles to Reposition, to assist you with your journey, or schedule a free clarity session to kickstart the journey. After these sessions, clients have stated they found clarity and opened their eyes to things they had long forgotten. So get social and follow LaFlower on all social media platforms at LaFlower Bowie. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Hey, guys, welcome back to the show. Tonight we are kicking on, well, we're continuing our money series, our financial series. And tonight we're going to be talking about some myths. We're going to debunk some money myths. Now, DeAndra, Regina, I know y'all got some money myths. Oh, Gina just threw a camera up. I don't know. I guess she got a code blue 32 over there. Lord have mercy. So I know
Yes.
you guys have some money myths. So who wants to kick us off first with a myth that we want to help the Uncommon Faith family debunk tonight?
I'll go first because you know what, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Because I'm not the best in this subject, and I know that.
That's why we're
So
growing. We sharing the good, the bad, the
yes,
ugly. We didn't
this
make
this
mistakes.
series is so much for me too, family. Y'all don't even understand. I'm so excited. I be telling them like, hey y'all, come on, cause I'm trying to learn. Okay. So the first myth that I found was ironically about no, I don't want to do that one. Okay, let's do this one. You need a lot of money to invest. Is that a myth, guys? Have you heard that before? I've heard that
Yes, that's a
a
good
lot of
one.
times. So it
That's a
says
really good one.
with technology today, it is no longer necessary to have thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars to start investing. So it's like they have like spare change apps like
Hmm.
Acorn that allows you to invest pennies at the time by rounding up. So you no longer need to sorry y'all, my husband is showing me advice too at the same time. I'm so sorry. Thank you, baby.
Thank you,
Thanks,
brother
Jay.
Jay. Thanks, brother Jay. We appreciate you coming in the
He's
clutch. Shout
so
out to
cute,
the
y'all.
husband.
He this is his topic, y'all. He just in the back, just so hype, and he got so much information for me to share. But I'm gonna stick with this first one, babe. But yes, you do not need
Tell
a lot
Justin
of
just don't hop on his phone on for the next. Just
yes,
tell him to
yes. You do
go
not
scoot over and let him in on the camera.
Right?
look. He didn't disappear now, so I think he went to go log in.
Mr.
So
Brown
yeah,
said he'll
so
pass.
family, so Regina and LaFlower, come on, tap in. Let us know if
No,
this is accurate. Do you need a lot of money to invest these days?
you do not. You do not. The old school financial foundation, of course. we're going to talk about that. But at the top, it used to be, and you invest after you have everything in order. But now you can pinch off a little bit of your savings. A couple dollars here and there. There's so many apps like DeAndra mentioned, Acorn, everybody like Robinhood we talked about last week. I just downloaded a new app because my W2, my 9 to 5, they gave everybody $20 to invest in to play with in this new app called Public. So they was
Nice.
like, "Hey, we want y'all need to be getting some stocks." I was like, "You better go
Okay.
W2." And lo and behold, my husband said, "Hey, there's this new app called Public." I was like, "I already told you about it. You weren't listening." No, I
Oh,
was like, I was like,
they'll be the best comeback. It's like, sir.
but I thought that was super cool that even in corporate America, they are encouraging you to take those small increments of money, and it's like buy a portion of a stock, because now these days, like you said, back in the day, you used to have to purchase the full amount of the stock, instead of small increments of like doing forex and stuff like that. So that's definitely a myth that we have to debunk and change the mindset, because a little bit matters.
I
Next
love
thing I would say is, oh, that's another one. That's another one. That's another myth. Go ahead, Gina. What's one you got? Or D'Angelo, do you want to share the one that
That's a
Justin
good one,
has?
Deandra.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all know I'm trying to learn. I got my tablet over here, everything.
Download some of those apps. A couple of dollars helps. Pennies help. So is Brother Jay gonna come on and share his, or is he gonna give it to you?
Well, Brother Jay made this is so off the topic, family. I'm so sorry. He made this vegan lasagna and it smells so good. And he's over there. So he had his plate and his phone like shoving it in my face just a minute ago. So now he's enjoying dinner, but he was still giving me, advice on the way to the table.
Okay, so what's
So
the tip? What's the tip he gave you? Or what's the myth he gave you?
I think it was just showing me different websites and stuff for the lower investments, and like, oh yeah,
Okay.
you can just throw pennies in there, quarters. It doesn't have to be a lot, and you can still. And oh, he says Cash App. He says he plays around with the investments in Cash
Okay,
App.
Justin, come on with the crypto and Cash App now. Come on
Yes,
with the
yes.
crypto and Cash App. I love
Yeah,
it.
this is such a positive conversation, but I do want to point out, did anyone else see that Bitcoin had a bit of a crash?
Of course, it was
Yes.
already predicted in my AI technology that
Mhm.
Bitcoin, and don't buy it until the last week of January. That's when you want to invest
My birthday.
Per the AI predictions, guys. You
Okay.
want to don't buy Bitcoin yet because it's going to drop even more.
Okay.
It's going to drop even more.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I
Buy
have a
low,
really
y'all.
quick one.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it's something I don't know. We might have hit on this a little bit last week, but very one of the myths that all debt is bad debt.
Mm.
No, we didn't hit on this one all the way, Regina. Come on
Come
through
on.
now.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna get too deep into it. I'm just gonna give you the surface.
I need something. I need to take a drink.
But we hear the word debt, and it's just like, oh, I don't want any debt. I don't want any debt. But there is a such thing as good debt, right?
Right,
If
right.
it's debt that brings value, if it's debt that basically appreciates, then that's good debt. But
Mm.
take, for instance, purchasing a home. That's going to put you in debt, but you're gaining equity
Oh,
in
that's
that. So that's good debt. Um,
Right.
even
And you get
debt
tax
for your
deduction.
education, because what are you going to do? You're going to use that to, again, bring in more income. So it's appreciating. So any debt that brings value as far as it appreciates
mm.
as you go, that is good debt. And that is debt that is okay to have.
That's a good
Love
one,
it.
Gina.
I
That's a
love
good
that.
one.
Yeah.
I was just telling someone a couple of weeks ago. She's like, "Girl, if it's to purchase my house cash," and I was like, "Boo, why?" Because I was like, spend that money to go pay off your car. I'm like, go pay off, like Regina said, the bad debt. Pay off, pay down your credit cards, pay off that car loan. Like car loans is one of the worst. I hate car loans, car payments. But that, like Regina said, it gains equity and you get tax deductions from some of the taxes that are paid into the home. You get it's a benefit. Our country wants you to have ownership, guys.
That's
So
it.
great call out, G. Good debt
Yeah.
versus bad debt.
I
Y'all go
love
buy
it.
some houses. Ownership. We owning stuff, y'all.
Real
Yes.
estate.
Yes, I'm trying to get my next
Yes.
house. Shoot, the kids keep
Yes.
Come
saying
on.
at dinner.
Come on,
Zoe was
second
like, I'm
home.
like, I got a surprise. Zoe, I told Zoe my day was good. I got some good news. She was like, "Wait, we about to get the next house." Not
Oh,
Okay.
yet,
They
y'all.
waiting.
They are so
They
ready.
are
They're
waiting
so
for
ready.
that
I
announcement,
because
honey.
listen.
because we've stretched them. We've stretched them so much. We've taken them to $10 million house. Well, actually $15 million houses. They've seen it. And so that's another thing. That's another show. We got to stretch our kids.
That's
Amen.
it.
We got to stretch our kids.
Show them.
Um,
Expose them to what's out there and what can be. Absolutely another
Now
show.
be
right.
ready for when they remind you.
Oh yeah, they gonna remind
Be
us. They
ready
gonna
for the
remind us.
Oh, they
reminder.
don't forget.
And be ready for the slight heart attack after you realize you ain't done what you need to do to get there.
I told them it's gonna be some years, y'all. I'm like, some more of y'all gotta go off to school. I'm like,
I'm
I'm gonna
like,
have y'all a room for when y'all come back, but we gotta get a couple more of y'all out the house. Let's see. Mine is, and we touched on this a little bit last week when we say just keep your money in a regular checking account,
okay,
Mhm.
right? And so one of the excuse me, one of the things that we should be doing is investing them, putting that in a money market account, putting it. There are some like one of the credit unions I use. Um, I get interest off of my checking account. I don't know how, but I do.
come on,
So in research, right, research those banks, get you an account that's going to give you something. It's going to give you
Yes,
something for
credit
your money in
union.
there.
You
Credit
just said
unions
one credit
are
union. If you can
amazing.
get in a credit union, get in a credit union because with that comes a lot of perks,
mm-hmm.
So many
especially when
perks.
it comes to interest rates. When we were talking about the good debt and bad debt, one thing you have to look at, and you said LaFlower, don't pay your house off, pay off, the car or something like that. You always want to get rid of the things that have the highest interest rate first.
Come on,
Exactly.
Always hit the highest interest rate first and then work your way down.
Right, right, right. And then I'll go to my next one, and Didi, you will go back around. So my next one is a myth is thinking that your debt has to stay with one lender. Your
mm,
debt has to stay with one lender. That's a
Mm.
myth, right? We think that because we didn't got a loan with SunTrust Bank for
You
that
better
vehicle,
refinance.
boom, there is power in refinance, and
Better
there's
believe.
power and and guys, there is power in credit card balance transfers. There's power when you're able to
Wow.
transfer
You
when
ain't
you're
talking. You ain't talking to Brother
y'all
Brown.
better have y'all pen and
no,
paper
but Sister
down. Y'all
LaFlower
need
that
to
growed
relax.
up.
You been talking to Brother
Sister
Brown.
LaFlower that
Don't tell
growed
me
up.
you have a
Come
0%
on.
and no fee transfer,
Exactly. Your
balance
debt.
transfer at 0%.
Come on now. It's
Trust,
okay.
believe,
You
and
can
know.
divorce your lenders. Come on, Gina. Tell them you can divorce your lenders.
Run me that card. Absolutely. My husband and I were fortunate enough to refinance recently, and it's crazy
Baby,
because he broke it all the way down for me. But it was okay, babe, you're gonna be paying a little bit more per month. But over the span of the loan, we're talking about saving
massive.
you.
Massively. One of
It,
my
it just
friends,
simply made sense.
it
And what
makes
we
so
say, if
much
it makes dollars, it makes sense. And
boom.
it kept a lot of dollars in my pocket. I'm like, well, absolutely.
Right, right.
Come on.
Guys, do not feel like you were in a forever
Your
relationship with
shoes
these
on my
lenders.
shoes.
You are not in a forever relationship. You are not. You can divorce them lenders, go get you somewhere. Even with a vehicle, when we switched to one of our credit unions, we got a new car. Took out a new car loan with them. They paid off the old car loan, and we were paying a fraction,
Mm,
Yes,
literally 50% of what we were paying for our old car note.
mm.
yes.
at our new credit union, guys. And this was years and years ago. So please don't feel like you're in a forever relationship with your lenders. Transfer that debt, right?
Mm.
Refinance that house. Put
That's a good
yourself,
one.
just what you did to get in that house, do it again so that you can put yourself in a position to refinance. I had a friend, he was able to refinance. He got some money out. This booger paid off all of his cars. He paid off all his credit card debt, all of his personal debt, and all that he had was his mortgage. That's it. Amazing. Amazing. So those are my two. DeAndra, you got
That's awesome. You was driving all up and down my street and honking the horn.
You've been talking to Brother Brown. Brother Brown, he put me on the right track in my early 20s. He sure did. He put me
Yes,
on the
come
right
on.
track. He says, Flower, that's ridiculous. That interest rate, get rid of that car. Get rid of that truck.
Mm.
Lord. And so he taught me how to pay attention to the interest rates. And if you got to get into a situation with a high interest rate, again, don't feel like that you have to be in that forever relationship. Because y'all know these auto loans, they taking it to 6 years. Where they do that at?
You know what? And you just said something key. So let me give you another tip. You know, you want to make sure that the loan that you have is one that you can pay on the principal without a penalty of fee.
Mm.
So when we have those high interest rates, how do we tackle that high interest rate and actually make it a lower interest rate? Is we pay more. So you pay what's due, but then you send an additional payment and you tell them I want to go directly to the principal only.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
you need to say that again, Gina.
Girl, say it for the people in the back one time. Go ahead.
Okay, y'all hear replay after we
She
done.
said,
But
Deandra. But guys, do that on your house too. You know, you can sneaky link or side link an extra principal payment to your
You absolutely can.
to your
But make
mortgage.
sure you know the details of your loan because
Exactly.
there are loans that will not allow you to make
Exactly.
payments directly to the principal. So you want to ensure that you have one that lets you pay straight to your principal. And then you're good. You can literally knock years off of that, the life of that loan
Sure
by
can.
hitting the principal.
That's good. So don't
mm.
think just because this person say you qualified and you screaming thank you Jesus. No, read that paperwork.
You got to
Ask
get
these
that 5 grand.
questions because
Period.
we just not at the point where we qualified, where we getting approved. No, we
Mm,
want to go with the best lender that fits us, right? Go ahead, Sister
mm,
Deandra. I can't with you over.
mm. I'm just loving my sisters right now. Just so full of knowledge. I just see this series going for a while. I'm learning so much, and I'm gonna think of topics, guys, to bring to these ladies to get us right. Okay, so this is okay. This one is pretty cool. And this is a myth about federal student loans. So the myth is you're too rich for federal student loans. Okay, guys. So this is the T on the loans. All right. There is no income cutoff to qualify for a federal student loan. Okay. Unfortunately, it's a lot of families, y'all, who think that they just won't qualify. You
No,
know,
and then you are so right.
But there's
statistically,
difference between loans and grants. Break that down.
That's it.
There's
right,
difference
right,
between loans
right,
and grants. We may not
right,
qualify for the
For the
grants,
grant,
but we
right,
can
right.
qualify for the loans.
They
but you will
figure they
get that loan.
won't qualify for federal aid, and they don't even apply. Okay,
Right.
so and then right now it's almost at 50% of US families. It's at 41%, but that's still pretty high for someone who just doesn't even get the knowledge or know what's really going on. So I would say regardless of your income, if you're thinking about student loans, going back to school, haven't been a few times, want to get back in there, throw yourself in there. You're making a lot of money now with your business and everything, and you don't know if you can still get that loan or qualify for the aid. Just try. But that's a great myth, y'all. I didn't know too much about
Right.
that. But
So
I
some of you,
can't say I hear a lot of people like, oh, I wouldn't even qualify, or oh no, I won't even get that, or so look into it if it's up your alley
definitely
for
look
sure.
into it, especially even if you have like a 529 college plan or something like a college savings and stuff like that. It's like still see what funds are available to you. Because I know some people, their parents were fortunate enough to put away a nice or some type of college fund for them, savings, and they think that that's all they have to work with.
Right.
And we got
So on the
Gina that's
college thing,
It's
go ahead, Gina.
options, guys,
Come
for
on, because you got one that's about to cross the stage in a couple
right.
months.
Come on, I'm
yeah,
gonna
I
try
just want to
next
say
year.
that, and I don't know if this is all schools or if this is
All
just
schools.
all schools or if this is just the district that we're in, but all seniors are required to complete the FAFSA to graduate.
Oh,
It is
that's
a
good.
graduation requirement
That is good.
I
to
love that.
complete that form.
I love that.
Yeah, I was like, oh wow, I'm like times have
I
changed.
love that.
So
That's really
again,
good.
I don't know if that's like across the board qualifications for graduation now, but at least for my son's school it is. And I told my husband, I said, look, that deadline is fastly approaching January 28th. Let's go ahead and knock that out. We're gonna
I
need to
love
get
it.
that done.
See what you qualify
But
for.
on the loans, and that's something we could talk about another time. But when it comes to those student loans, you have the subsidized and the unsubsidized loans, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of times, I know for me, I didn't have a clue. What does that mean, and
Really,
having to get
Gina.
that understanding.
But yeah, we're gonna talk about the subsidizing because that's major when you are thinking about your college plan. Like,
Yes.
what's your exit strategy? Are you going to grad school? Are you going to med? It's like, or do you have a degree field where you're going to be able to jump into the what did Cliff used to call it, the workforce?
The
The
He called
workforce,
workforce.
jump into the workforce right away, or where you have to do internships where you can't, it's all types of things that you got to consider.
right?
And guys, before we go, so my last one for me will be is this is one that me and Marcus had to have definitely a realization some years ago, because most people say, hey, all you gotta do is trim your budget. Trim your budget and you'll find some money. Trim your budget and you'll find some money. Well, over here in the Bowie household, we can only trim so much
Woo,
because
woo.
we can only trim so much. And so I learned very early on, yeah, you want to have a realistic budget. You really want to have a realistic budget. But some of us, flat out, we just have to make more money. We just have to
Yeah.
figure out a way to make more money, whether that's you going after a promotion at work, putting yourself in a position to get a promotion with additional certification, different college hours, internship, whatever you got to do to get that promotion to get more money into
OnlyFans.
your household, or start a side business, start a side hustle, put some names on some t-shirts, whatever you got to do.
Come on, multiple stream.
You got to have multiple streams, because sometimes you're it's like, it's, do we live here or do we go live somewhere else, right? Because we there's been time when we didn't cut the TV stuff off. We was on Sling TV before everybody even knew about Sling TV, you know, trying to cut the budget. But Marcus and I just realized we got a large family. We just need to make more money. That's just it. It's like we're not going to be able to function without X amount of dollars coming into our house each month. So we got to do what we got to do to make more money. What do you
You
guys
know
think
what,
about
Flower?
that?
You that's a huge point because that at one point I was right there and like exact same thing. Well, let's just cut back on this and then let's cut this and cut that. And of course, Brother Brown being the financier that he is babe, that's not gonna make a big enough difference. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's not gonna make a difference. Because even at one point I was like, well, I'll just get a second job. And he's like, babe, after taxes and everything else that has to come out, there's really not much hitting the bottom line. So there's no point in that either. Because when you can run the numbers or get someone to run them for you and really determine, like you said, what is the number that we need to
Right.
come in order to reach this goal or
Yeah.
that goal. But just saying, oh, let's cut back on this and that, that's not always sufficient.
Right.
It's not. It's not.
That's a good
It's
one.
not. The kids don't like peanut butter
That
and
was
jelly,
good.
y'all.
Hmm. I
No,
didn't.
and it's just really just being realistic. It's like I can't feed my house on $300 worth of groceries each month. It's
Oh no,
impossible.
Oh
It's
no,
that's
it's
like 2 days.
impossible.
no, no.
That's
That's like 2 days,
And
baby.
you know what? And and we try to cook a lot, and try not to order out. So, that grocery bill, like saying like, hey, $500-600 is what it needs
Easy.
to be for the month.
easy.
It's insane. But I will say I will I will splurge at the grocery store way before I go buy a new outfit or I go and get like a new pair. Like I'll make sure I get my little almond milk and like my things that or
Come
my
on,
little
priorities.
or
Yes.
stuff that I know that I really want. Like no matter like with my coffee, I know I want an oat creamer. And I know they're like $5. And I'm like,
Yes,
OMG.
But
yes,
it's so worth it. It's so worth it,
But
right?
it
I
is.
know my week is gonna go pretty good because I have the creamer I want, I have the coffee I want, and I'm
Y'all,
not
Didi need a
consuming
coffee,
what I
y'all.
want,
Didi need a coffee.
so it's just about where we're getting where you fit in. But to me, health is wealth, and so we have to definitely keep that in mind. So I try to always keep that, and I'll be like, I
It's true
Okay, hey,
though.
a little tip for you guys. If you don't have an app called Crazy Coupon Lady, I would encourage you to get it if you want to save some things. We have some people that are couponers, right? It's a whole what do you
Community.
call them?
community.
Group. Yeah, community of couponers out there. I've tried it here and there, but Crazy Coupon Lady keeps me up, or keeps me right on the game with
You have to
sales and things
print
that are happening.
anything? Do you have to print
Is everything
anything? Is
digital?
it all scan and go?
Look, she breaks it down for you very simply. If it's a digital one, she sends you to the link, gives you the code. Me, I mostly do online things. I can use the code and I'm done. And it works every time. No
But
issues.
Gina,
So one of the
Gina, we're
alerts
gonna
I
have
got
to bring
today, I
I think
wanted
we
to
got
share
some
with
bots up in here.
You
you. What'd you
said
say?
crazy
Oh no.
coupon
I was gonna
lady.
say we're gonna have to have a show for the coupons. And
Oh
Oh
I know
yeah.
you
yes,
got some
yes. And I
couponing
have a couponer
friends.
that we can
Yes,
that would
that's it.
love
You
to
got
come
the
Yes.
on and
couponing
bless us.
community. Because
Yes,
I have a love-hate relationship with the coupons,
yes,
because the stuff I want, like DeAndra said, like the oat creamer, sometimes it's gonna
yes.
be a coupon for the oat creamer.
Ain't gonna be no coupon. It's gonna be a
But let me
coupon
tell
for
you,
that
when you get
coffee mate. For that coffee mate fridge vanilla. That's the
look,
that's the coupon.
this is when you get it. When the new stuff came out, like the new oat, when the oat creamer first hit and things like that, the coupons were massive. And
Yeah.
not even just for coupons, because I don't do too much use of coupons anymore, but I'm big on rebates. You
Okay.
going
Mm.
shopping and doing everything anyway. All you have to do is scan your receipt and scan your items, and you get money back.
Oh,
Simple.
that's
You're not
good.
doing anything extra. And there's tons of rebate apps out there like
Yeah, you
Ibotta
have my
and
daughter scanning her
Rakuten
receipt.
or something like that.
So that's and
Regina, World Uncommon Family. Regina Brown has my daughter Jillian scanning every receipt, taking the when it comes out of the scanner at the register, she gets the receipt. Her grandmother, Nana, if you watching,
no,
aka Sister
Sister Linda.
Linda, aka
Sister
Sister
Linda,
Linda, aka uh she sends her receipts to scan because
she's making money.
so important to her. And my sister got her fired up. So I need to
She's
follow
making
it.
money. That's an easy way.
So guys, that's a whole nother
So
Building
show.
one
We're
question,
gonna
one
be
question
couponing
before we
and
go.
rebating.
One question, Regina, can you scan the coupon twice? So if she scanned one, can I scan? It's a real
Okay. So most coupons actually you can use multiple times. So
okay.
one coupon is like good for up to 6 or something
Okay.
like that. If
All
it's
right.
the really big ones, then it's typically just one. But most of the coupons you can actually use it for up to 6 transactions.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
Cool. I'm
My
with
yes.
God.
it. I'm
My
with it.
So
I
God.
for
got a
any of
lot
my
of
people who
receipts.
like Ross, okay, right now in December and
Today is the day.
January, Ross is having their 49-cent clearance going on right
They
now.
are.
You
Wait,
can find all kinds of
Ross,
things
Didi,
because from their
Ross.
Christmas
Online or in the
influx.
store? Online?
No,
In the
in the store.
store.
Go in the store. And it's the pink stickers. 49 cents. You can get 49-cent shoes. Go in the
Yes, my
store.
college
I just
student
got one
called me
question. When
today.
when did you find this out, Regina?
I got the alert from
Today.
my crazy coupon
Okay,
lady
today.
today.
Okay. Because I was
Today, Didi.
like,
Today.
that's just the hottest tea. You gotta spill that. You gotta spill it.
I got it.
Well, I think that's a great way for us to end the show. Y'all gonna go to Ross. Money mitts.
Get up,
Coupons
Ross.
work. Y'all gonna go to Ross and get y'all some 49-cent pants because my oldest cleaned up on her workout on her active wear.
Oh
See,
my
She cleaned up.
goodness.
She
they
cleaned up
to
on
hit
her
the
active wear
49
today.
cent. Guess what? I
Do
am
I
a
miss
Rosser,
work tomorrow
and I
to go
never
to
knew
Ross?
about this.
I'm
Well,
missing work.
she told me she didn't even know while she was at work, and she said the customers would come in and say, when the sale, and she's like, ain't no sale. You at Ross, ain't no sale. What you mean?
Oh,
Ross already discounted.
so they just tag it and you don't know about it. They just
Right.
okay.
It's not something that's advertised. They do not advertise it, but it
Wow.
happens every year like clockwork.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, good to know. We love you, Uncommon Faith family. We love you so
Hope you
much.
Thank
guys.
Grace
you.
and
We
peace.
love you, Daddy.
Yes,
Rest
Yes,
Daddy.
easy.
grace and peace.
Good night, guys.